Hi, welcome to the Practice First Coaching's YouTube channel. The presentation you're about to watch actually took place live at one of our sessions. So can I use this opportunity to invite you to come and join us? We meet every Tuesday and the details are on the screen. If you like this kind of content, can I encourage you to please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell? That way you'll get notified whenever we release any new content. Let me not take too much of your time. Enjoy today's presentation, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
So thank you, Mark, for inviting me to present this masterclass for you all. I hope that you find the information useful and you're able to improve on your writing by the end of it. So what we're going to go over is I'll do a short introduction to myself. We'll go over what copywriting is. We'll go over what copywriting and content writing are and the differences between them. We'll also cover why copywriting is important. And we'll also learn how to find your benefits, and we'll do a little practical exercise around that as well. And then at the end, you'll have an Ask Me Anything. So yeah, get your questions ready. So there'll be set times to ask questions throughout this, but if you've got one that just can't wait, feel free to ask away, stop me, I don't mind. It can be as interactive as you want it to be, so it's all good. So, an introduction to me. Hello, I'm Chantal Walker, which is still very new to me because I've just got married, so I'm not used to the Walker bit, but that is my new name. Yay! I'm a scientist turned freelance copywriter and owner of The Chemistry of Copy. So I got into copywriting from science because for me, it's both logical and creative. So there are obviously rules for sales writing, which I love, and equally there's a need for new ideas and new approaches. So that's where the creativity comes in for me as well. So I do find that copywriting comes naturally to me, but I do strongly believe that with the right tools, anyone can improve the way that they write for their business. So that's why I'm here to share some of my knowledge. So I absolutely love this. So copy is not written, copy is assembled. And I love this because it links to why I love copywriting. It has strategy behind it. You're not just writing anything and hoping for the best, like scribbling it down like, yeah, that'll do. You're targeting your messaging and your words to get a desired outcome. So our first section, what is copywriting? So copywriting is used to evoke an action. That action is usually to sell. So copywriting uses audience knowledge to target language, which increases leads and sales. So we've actually been using copywriting since the 15th century because we've been selling stuff for a long time. So our world is immersed in it. Even if we think that we're immune to advertising, it's everywhere. We're taking it on board all the time. So copywriting is on ads, emails, websites, billboards, TV and radio ad scripts, leaflets, brochures, sales letters, anywhere that a business wants to get more sales. It can be also used in more subtle places like CVs and job posts as well to try and get good candidates. So copywriting is writing to sell. Writing that has a clear action after reading it. So think of buy now or click here. So these are CTAs or calls to action. So a call to action is what makes copywriting different to other forms of writing. It has a purpose, and that purpose is usually to sell, but it can be to sign up, learn more. So those kind of things, so click here, sign up to a particular brand, learn more, those kind of things. It's an action. So copywriting is strategic, and it is used as a solution that businesses use to increase their sales or connect to their audience. So it is not content writing. So if it's not content writing, what is the difference between copywriting and content writing then? So does anyone know? No. Also, So copywriting is not content writing, although confusingly, they are often used interchangeably. And I know, I'm really sorry. So you'll often hear like website content, but really website content is copywriting. So it is confusing, and I know. So the difference is that content writing is used to engage and inform an audience. So it can be used to sell, but generally you'll see it on blogs and social media posts. So its primary purpose is to entertain its readers with useful information. So that's not to say that you can't have a call to action, but selling won't be your main focus, or shouldn't be the final desired result.
Could you just, Chantal, could you just repeat that again in terms of the defining content writing? Because I think that's important.
Yeah, so copywriting is not content writing, although confusingly, it can be used interchangeably. The difference is that copywriting is used to engage and inform an audience. So it can be used to sell, but generally you'll see it on blogs and social media. Its primary purpose is to entertain its readers with useful information. So that's not to say that you can't add a call to action, but selling won't be the main focus and shouldn't be the desired result. So copywriting is sales writing. So that's where you get your action from your target audience. So you really need to know your target audience and be clear on what you are selling or wanting to achieve. So why is copywriting important then? So copywriting is important because if your aim is to increase your sales, then your messaging really needs to connect with your target audience. So copywriting specifically targets an audience. It has a specific tone. It uses deliberate words with a clear call to action. And when I say clear call to action, I mean there should just be one thing that the reader should do after reading your message. So don't give a choice. People are unfortunately very lazy. They just want an easy life. So giving one option means it's quick, yes or no. Do I click or not? So I'll repeat that. So give one option, a yes or no. So what you don't want to do is have multiple options and then the person goes, oh, which one do I choose? And they deliberate and they go over it. And then maybe the phone goes, they go pick that up and they forget and the moment's gone. So you want to give them a very clear choice. So copywriting increases your sales quickly because you're leading a potential buyer through a process. So you're taking them all the way through. So say that you have an advert, so like a Google ad, you'll have learn more at the end of it. So your call to action will be learn more. So they'll click that and then they'll go through maybe to a landing page. That landing page will then have another one option that says buy now. They click that. And every single time that you go through, there's one option for someone to go through. And that is the main option that you want. It's not to say that you can't have other calls to action, but your main one should be the one that's the most obvious on there. And that's your ultimate aim of what you're doing with copywriting. So some common call to actions, like I've mentioned before, buy now, click here, learn more, those ones. Those are the standard ones, but really you can make them as elaborate as you want. Like, as long as they're really clear. And if you have something that says learn more, make sure that it actually goes to what you're saying that it's going to go to, because that's very important. I see quite often that people go learn more and then it takes you to a page that is obviously a sales page, and that's not really, it doesn't match. You know, you want to meet people's expectations on the other side because they have taken the effort to click through. They were happy, they've clicked through, so then give them what they were wanting at the end of it. So at every stage you're giving them the next option. So we have both now copywriting and content writing. So where to use both? So copywriting, you'd use on something you're wanting to sell. So on your website, emails, adverts, brochures, leaflets, social media bios. So, you know, on your pages, your LinkedIn pages, those bios, your Facebook bios, those kind of things. It's content writing because you're informing and engaging. you use on your social media posts, your blog posts, your newsletters, press releases. It's still vitally important, but it's also important to know the difference between the two so that your expectations are matched for what you're trying to achieve or what you'd like to achieve. So if you want more sales, go for copywriting. So target your audience, have clear calls to action. If you want to get your new product or service out to the world, content writing will educate your audience about what's new about it. So we have a short, any questions at this point? Hello.
I have a quick question. So when you say copywriting is like short and concise, like buy now, learn more.
Mhm.
So is there more to it? I mean, those are like such short little sentences. There must be a little bit more to it than, is it learning like the placement?
Yeah, so basically we're going to go on to benefits in a minute.
Awesome.
And basically that's just your end bit. That's the bit that leads the person to the next section. So you'll still have like all your other stuff and you'll have everything that you had before, but then people sometimes miss leading someone to the next stage, and that's what a call to action does. And that's why it's different from content writing, because content writing, it doesn't really move you anywhere, it just tells you stuff.
Okay, thank you. So it's like a little breadcrumb from leading you to the next step. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No worries. Any more questions?
Could that be a reason why websites that the owners probably intended for it to generate sales fails to generate sales, because all it's doing is basically providing information without really leading it to a call to action?
Yeah, it could be, and people do it all the time. They want to get everything on there and they do it all, but then they don't actually tell the person who's reading what to do next. So someone will read it, but if they don't know what to do next, if they don't know what you're asking from them, then they're not really going to do it. So they might have been impressed, they might like your product or service, but if you don't make it really clear that you want them to buy, then, because you don't have to be like, oh, buy now, you know, but there's subtle ways of doing it. So it's always important to think about like the strategy behind it and what you want people to do.
Are we usually combining content and copy, or are they separate?
You can combine them because your blog posts will also sit on your website. So it'll just be, to me, I find it easier to separate them in my head, because if I know that I have something that I want to educate people on, then I'll know that I won't have to worry so much about my call to actions and stuff like that. Whereas if I know that I have to sell something, so if I know I want to sell something, then I know that I have to really make my call to action really, really strong, because that's going to be really important.
Sorry, so just to follow up on that, when if let's say on my website I have created a piece of content that gives some information, informs the client about something, and let's say, I don't know, or a blog post or whatever, a blog post can serve both purposes depending on how it's prepared.
Yeah, it can.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's nothing to say that a blog post can't have call to actions and it can't be copywriting, but just generally people use blog posts in a way that educates. It's not to say that you can't have a blog post that sells, like you can, but generally people use them to educate people because they use it for SEO and for getting traffic and all that stuff.
Could it be fair to assume that with copywriting, you kind of want to get to the point as soon as possible, whereas content writing, there's a lot of explanation because you don't want to lose the focus and attention of the reader, so you want to get them to that call to action as quickly as possible? Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, that's a fair assumption, yes. It's not to say that you should miss out part of your story and everything, because it's not really about getting to the sale quickly, but yes, definitely you want to make it very clear straight off what you are selling, because if people don't have a lot of time as well, you know, they just want to get onto that page and be like, what do they want? Like, what are they asking me? Because my biggest pet hate is that when I get onto a page and I've got to read so much and I've been on it so much and I'm ready to buy, and then I have to read through all the stuff about the business and about what they're selling just to even get to a place that I can actually buy on the page, like physically click. And by that point, I'm like, I'm lost, you know? Like, but yeah, there's loads of different styles and everyone has a different style. So that's just my personal one.
Oh, thank you.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next section is we'll learn how to find our benefits. So we've all got something great to offer. So sometimes we do so much that we want to tell people everything all at once because we're all great and that's fantastic. But it's much better to narrow down that list and refine them into clear benefits so that your audience doesn't become overwhelmed. And that goes back to the one call to action thing. So yeah, it's better to have really clear things about what you do than having it everything listed out that you've ever done. So if you need a pen and paper, if you want to be involved and play along, or a digital equivalent as well, because I mean, I like pen and paper, but you know, people also like digital stuff. So we all got something if we want to be involved. Awesome. So what is a benefit? So a benefit is something that is irresistible to your target audience. So you really need to speak their language to connect with them and solve the problem that they are facing. To start with, you'll need to understand what a feature is because features and benefits go together. So a feature is something that a business, a product or service offers. So I've done a really quick example here, but we'll take a pen. So the background of the pen is that it's a very fancy pen and it's used for writing cards or invitations. So the target audience is maybe someone who's writing like wedding cards, or maybe their kid has got like a birthday party and it's very important to them, it's very special. So that's the target audience for this pen. So the features of this pen is black ink and it doesn't smudge, which is fantastic. And for some people that might be enough for them to purchase. You know, maybe they don't need any more than that. Maybe they just wanted a pen. That's great. But if you go deeper into the benefits, you're putting yourself in the shoes of the person who is buying it, of someone who really needs this pen. So you're putting yourself in the target audience's shoes. So you're thinking, oh gosh, like what would that mean to me if people had those really nice invitations that were, because I'm going to spend loads of time writing all the invitations, like what would it mean to me for someone to have that? You know, you want them to remember it. You want them maybe ultimately to keep it as well as a token, like as a memory. So that's, you know, you're sort of thinking bigger. So the black ink that doesn't smudge, more features, it's easy to read, stylish, so it keeps your writing neat. But if you go further, you'll say, oh, but it's what you've done is so nice that people want to keep it. So you're getting more emotional now. So you could say that writing memories they'll keep forever. So that's more emotional. So you're hitting the target audience there. It's more than just a pen. You know, you're really understanding what someone's going to use this for. So the benefit to you as a buyer is that your invitation will get kept forever and you'll cherish a great memory of a special day, whatever that special day is. So the practical exercise is finding your benefits. So first, you need to write down your features. So all your features are things that what you do, basically. So for me, that's sales writing. So maybe the first one is writing website copy, the next will be writing advert copy, and so on and so on. So I'll give a couple of minutes for people to write down that.
How many benefits are you writing down?
3 to 5. Yeah, it's probably a good amount. Again, you don't need to write absolutely loads because you can always come back and refine them.
Thank you.
This is copywriting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
So are we ready to carry on? Okay. So when you've got your list, you really need to think about how that benefits someone, or rather not just someone, your target audience. So think about the pen and the people who are buying the pen. So who are you helping? What problem are you solving? So I'll do it for me. So writing website copy, my benefit is that I save business owners time, ultimately. That's one benefit. And quite a few people have that benefit. Saving people time is great, but you can go deeper because say if my target audience maybe has a family, then they want to spend time with their kids. So I can go deeper and can say that I save them time so they can spend more time with their family. So that's more personal and specific to a particular audience. So I can say that I write your website copy so you can enjoy movie night with the kids, you know, or something like that. So it's just that little bit extra. So I'm not just saving time, I'm actually solving their problem because their problem is that they don't get enough time with their kids. Does that make sense? Fantastic. So your aim when writing is to always write about your benefits rather than your features. So doesn't matter where you're writing, whether it's on landing pages, ads, on social media. So it doesn't matter if it's copywriting or content writing. So just make sure that whenever you write something about yourself or about your service, that you just double check it in your head. Just think, actually, is this a feature? Or could I go deeper? Is it actually a benefit? Because those benefits are going to hit a lot harder than the features are, because lots of people have features. Your benefits are more tailored, they're more specific to you and your audience, so they'll hit stronger. So, and also don't feel that you have to list out all your benefits. You don't. Just pick the key ones, and you can always chop and change as well. So depending on your audience, maybe you have an audience that, so say I get onto a call and no one has kids, so that would change, you know. I would save them time. I'd have to get a new benefit, you know, because I have to benefit them in a different way. So it depends on your audience all the time. So any questions?
I think that was a good exercise to do. It will be interesting to hear one or two of the benefits that people came up with.
Awesome.
Any volunteers?
I can volunteer.
Go on, Trey.
Well, I've written tools to change your habits. I'm a coach, by the way, so the features are embodiment coaching and body-mind connection. Tools to change your habits and be more authentic in your life. Less stress in difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 of them.
Yeah, with stress, it's you have to think about why someone is stressed as well. So you could probably go deeper with those still.
Yeah.
Because if someone is stressed, why are they stressed? Why do they want to get rid of that stress? What are they hoping to do or achieve when they are not feeling stressed? So you can take it further.
Yeah.
Still.
You named that the audience is important, and
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, but the time was running out. So my audience would be people who work as professionals in for a company.
Mhm.
So yeah, I could indeed go deeper into that and look at why would you be stressed in your workplace. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a good start. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We've got loads of time, so I speak really quickly. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. If nobody volunteers, you guys know me. I'll just call somebody out. I'll be like, okay, you know, I kind of want to be a little bit cheeky. Stan, how you doing? Where's Stan? It's not on my screen. Hey, Stan. Stan is the Aussie in the room.
Hello.
Yay. Stan,
Hey.
how you doing, man? Do you want to talk a little bit about your benefits?
I was busy writing stuff, so I kind of got was I supposed to be doing the pen or me?
You.
Oh, good, because that was the bit that I was doing, and then I was like, "We're talking about the pen." I might have done the wrong exercise. So some of my benefits are a bucket load of goals, goal setting, breaking limiting beliefs, empowerment, worksheets.
Yeah. So
I don't know whether it's a benefit or I think I was crossing backwards and forwards.
yeah, it is hard.
I think I dropped some of the features in the benefits.
Yeah, they are features. I would say they're features. So features are great. Features are exactly what you do. That's fantastic. But a benefit, the difference is that you're targeting it to your audience. So you're thinking about who's going to be reading it and what problem you're solving. So the problem that you're solving for your audience, you need to link it back to that. And that's why copywriting is, I wouldn't say hard in that sense, but you do have to think about it a bit more. You have to think. Like it doesn't like, you need to spend some time on it, and that's fine. It's all great. I have to spend time when I write my own stuff as well. It doesn't come naturally when I write for myself. Writing for myself is very hard. I'm in the same boat. Writing for other people is very easy, but for myself, it's a nightmare.
But Chantal, could that be a way to actually be quite creative, is to get somebody to do it for you? Would that be easier? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think when I'm doing me, I tend to focus more on the features. But when somebody else would probably do it, they'll focus more about what they'll get.
Exactly.
Rather than the actual features itself.
Yeah, definitely. Or write down your features, write down what you think the benefits are, and just send it to someone that you trust. Send it to someone who knows your business and just get them to sanity check it for you. Or send it, I don't know, if you have a client that maybe is a friend and a client, because they've ultimately bought from you. So they'll know what they saw in your business.
Cool. That's great. That's really good. Does anybody else want to go? I think we still got a bit of time.
I'll give it a jab.
Okay.
So I wrote down a feature could be like teaching people how to have difficult conversations. So the benefit of that would be like feeling closer to those that you love.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, because if you're feeling closer to someone, then that's the emotion. So anything that has emotion tends to be a benefit.
Okay. So even though your feature really isn't discussed, that's okay. Even though I don't say I'm going to teach you how to have.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because you can always say your features like later on or at another point. So what I can do is when I write stuff, I'll have like the benefits as like my headline, and I'll have it like quite high up on the page, and then maybe later on I'll do like bullet points of my features or something. So it's still there, but what people are reading first, and to get their attention to keep reading, is that they're really connecting with what you have said.
Okay. And is it best to like put your benefits as, state them as a question? Like, would you like to feel closer to those you love rather than feel closer? Or does it really matter?
Doesn't make a difference, no.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I didn't know if it was more engaging to ask the question.
Yeah, you could do. I know I've used both. It just depends on, I guess, what people's natural style is, because I think that branding is quite important as well. If you naturally ask loads of questions in your stuff, then keep going with that. If you've never asked a question in any of your copy ever, then unless you want to start, I would leave it off.
Okay, so finding consistency in your style of writing.
Yeah, that's what copywriters do as well. So when I go through stuff with people, I ask them like, what words do they like to use? And I'll do a bit of research, like find their tone, like read stuff that they've previously written, because it's all about matching that whole brand.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Chantal, I don't know if you're going to cover it in the presentation, but I was going to ask, do you have like samples of headlines or a call to action, like an actual one or one you've done? Do you have any illustration?
Yeah. So Lauren's on this call. And I wrote for Lauren's website. So if she doesn't mind, we can share it. Is that okay, Lauren?
Yes, that's fine. Feel free. Do you want me to put the link in the
yeah.
Or do you want to share it?
I'll try. Hold on. I'll try and share it. But I just need to go through the rest of my slides, because I'm going to lose it otherwise. So just as a summary. So basically I've said here, don't worry if you can't think of all your benefits now. So they may take you some time to refine them, and that's fine. You know, I always go back, and like I was saying, with target audience changing, you can always go back and refine it as you go along. So as a recap, we've learned the difference between copywriting and content writing. So we've also learned how to find our benefits through looking at our specific features. Okay, so then I hope you've had a wow moment and have gained some useful tools to help you write for your business. So if you enjoyed this masterclass, then this is the link for my courses. So I've got some quick one-off sessions, and in the new year, I actually run my 6-week training course, which you'll go through how to write for your website. So from start to finish. So if you already have website content, that's fine. And if you don't, you'll just start from scratch. So this will include how to target your audience, the power of testimonials, which pages to have on your website, how to write for those pages. So it'll cover absolutely loads of stuff. But also, if after this masterclass you're thinking writing is the last thing you want to be doing and you just don't want to do it yourself, you're like, absolutely not. I've also got availability before the end of the year or in the new year. So reach out and I'll just do it for you. I'll just write for you. I mean, I am still a copywriter.
Well, I have a question.
Hello.
Hey, my name's Roz. I joined late. I'm sorry, but I have written the copy and started putting my website together. Do you review?
I do.
And give feedback on that?
Yeah, I do. Yes. So on my website, I think it's under services. I think it's my copper package, which is basically just you're buying my time. So I can use that as a review.
I didn't get your website name. Yeah,
thechemistryofcopy.com.
The chemistry.
Yeah, thechemistryofcopy.com. Yeah, because
I will post Chantal's details in the Practice Pods Facebook group page after today's session, with her email address as well. So if you want to connect with her after the session, that will be amazing. And I'm sure she will definitely want to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, so these are all my connections as well. Oh. But yeah, Mark was sorted as well. So yeah, so let me work out how to get onto Lauren's website now.
You might probably have
Chantal,
to
if
come
you
out
just
from Canva. Excellent. Cool.
So
Did you guys find that useful? I thought it was quite informative and quite useful. Cool. Does anybody want to share while Chantal is basically for a sample, your experience in terms of content writing? I mean, copywriting.
Well, I have no experience at all. I didn't even know that there was a difference between copy and content. So this really has been very enlightening for sure.
oh, I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Yeah, I mean, prior to meeting Chantal, Lisa and I pretended like we knew something. Then we had to own up and go, hey, you know, what's the difference? Tell us. You know.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Right, so this is Lauren's website. So Lauren is an amazing graphic designer, and for some weird coincidence as well, the guy who designed it is also on this call. That's Liam. So shout out to both of them. But basically you can see here that what I've done with Lauren's website is that, so because she's a graphic designer, Lauren basically showed me loads of scribbles that she had from clients. And basically, because we're friends, she basically kept showing me these in calls, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. So when it came around and she wanted me to write a copy, that was the first thing I thought of. So basically came down to bringing your scribbles to life, because Lauren's target audience is people who don't want to go out to the big brands. Like, she's still quite affordable. She gives you a really good service, but she is still affordable. So people still come to her and go, they just brain dump it on a piece of paper, give it to her, and expect her to just work her magic. And she does, but I mean, these scribbles are sometimes not great. So you can see here, so that's the first thing that you see. So I'm not saying that she's a graphic designer. That's not the first thing that is said. It's the next bit, because you want to attract attention first. So then basically, as we go down, there's loads of different sections, and these are the call to action. So where it says contact me, that's your call to action. So it's very clear about what Lauren wants you to do on her website. She wants you to contact her, she wants a call. So go down again, and then this bit, that's her services. So we've listed out her main services, but then the next thing, if you wanted more, you'd go onto her services tab. So you'd click through and get more. Again with her portfolio, again with contact me. So at the end of each section, depending on what someone wants, there's always a button there, you know. So if they're scrolling and they're thinking, oh, this is quite good, there's plenty of opportunities for them to stay on the website and to keep going to the next thing. Because what you don't want is them to get maybe halfway and think, oh yeah, this is great, and then they're nowhere near the next call to action that they're looking for. Yeah, so that's about it then, I think. So, call to actions.
That's actually quite useful, because I'm just thinking of my website. I mean, I barely visit my website. To be honest with you, whenever I advertise something on my website, people rarely book anything on through the website. They contact me directly. Mm-hmm. And I keep wondering, how come nobody actually goes to the website and do it? But in looking at this example you've just shown us, I don't have a tenth of all the call to action. Mm-hmm. I tell people what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and you probably have to scroll to or click a tab to another page to actually connect. But I don't actually have, and I don't know if anybody else has on their website, all these calls to action. Does that resonate with you guys? Do you have, I don't know, who has a website? Don't worry, we're not going to go to your website. Lisa, does yours have all this kind of call to action literally at every stage?
No, this is a huge eye opener for me. And I'm really seeing like how much of this is invitation. It's like every like little paragraph, every little section, you're inviting them to engage with you some more. And so that actually makes me feel a little bit more comfortable and confident. And like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like I'm so in people's face. But if I like change my mindset and just say, I'm just inviting them, like Max said, you know, people don't book because he's not having as many invitations available to them.
Yeah, and people are lazy. I always just say people are lazy. Just give them what they want. Just sure, there's a section, so just give them what they want. You know, they've obviously clicked onto your website for a reason.
If we look at it,
reports every month on how many visitors, but nobody books anything. You know, even this program we're doing, Lunch with Impact, nobody books through the website. I mean, that's an example. I can remember, I think in the last one, Create and Launch a Coaching Program, one person booked through the website. Everybody else just goes, oh, hi, man. But everything is set up on the website. But I think because there isn't that natural call to action, people go, oh, I'll just contact Mac instead.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder, is call to action like for brand new people that maybe you haven't even interacted with yet? And people that already know you are more like likely to just contact you directly?
Could be either. It could be either. I mean, I've done both.
Okay.
But that means
Yeah,
you could possibly lose out on people that don't know you personally. If they're not seeing all the call to action, that means they can probably drop away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's important that you're leading someone through your website, because it's important to keep people on your website for as long as possible.
On my website, I think they have to click too much.
Yeah, that's another problem, but that comes down to people wanting to say too much on their website.
Yeah.
So then before long, you have all these pages and you don't even know where stuff is on your website. People ask you something and you're like, well, I don't know where to find that. Like, there should be like, I like to keep it at like maybe 1 or 2 clicks before it gets to like an end page.
Okay.
So
are you recommending not having too much content then? Don't over inform.
I know Liam might suggest otherwise because he does website stuff, so there is a fine balance. You do need writing there. Like for SEO, you do need writing. Like you do need content. It needs to be filled. You can't have nothing. But you shouldn't just have it there for the sake of it. There should always be a purpose to it. So don't think, oh yeah, well, I need this page so it bulks up my website. Unless there's an actual purpose. You can always bulk up your website with blog posts and stuff like that.
Okay. I think the other thing all of this conversation is really making me think of is being in the seller's or the buyer's shoes, like times that I've clicked on something, a Facebook ad, and I want to know certain information. So continuing to scroll and scroll and scroll until I get to that next call to action is a little frustrating sometimes. So really observing, like examining things more from this point of view will be really interesting now that I know more about copywriting.
Yeah, I examine everything. Like, I don't mean to be horrible, but I can't help it. Like, whenever I click on anything, I'm like, oh no.
Awesome.
Does anybody have any questions? We've got about 10 minutes left. If there's no questions, then I'm going to say thank you. So, but I kind of want us to maximize this time with Chantal. People actually pay for this kind of sessions with Chantal. So it's such a privilege to just have her, and we can open it up to as many people as possible to come and hear her speak. So grab this opportunity.
Well, let me ask a question. I saw in the website that you showed us that there was this part where you say the most wanted, what's the name? Products. And then when you click on that, I assume that then you go to that product and you see more information about it.
Yes, yeah. So basically, because that was a home page, so maybe I'll go onto it again. So a home page is similar to a landing page, but it's not quite the same. So when I write a home page, I'll have little sections in there so that people can decide which page they want to go to next. So it'll have like the summary, and then it's a bit about Lauren. So in Lauren's case, she doesn't have an about section. So normally I would write a little summary, but in Lauren's case, this is her only about section. So that's why it's slightly bigger. So normally that would be small, and that's why there's no call to action there, because this is her about section. And then she has her contact her, because that's the main thing that she wants her to do, like she wants people to do. And then for her most requested services, so we just taken the ones that she does the most often, the ones she enjoys the most. But then if you click her services, did I click it? Yeah, I did. So then she has a full list of everything that she does. So it doesn't clog up her homes page, so you can still get to the next section easily, but it still needs to be there because people, if they're looking for something specific, they need to be able to find it somewhere. So then she'll have absolutely loads of stuff that she does.
So now you make me wonder, what is the difference between a home page and a landing page?
So a home page, well, I see it as a home page is your first page, although you don't know where people are going to land on your website. So I would say that you don't know where they're going to land, so they could land on any page. But a home page for me is a summary of all your pages. A landing page is a sales page. So that is, you can have a landing page for absolutely anything. So if you're selling a particular course or something, you'll have a landing page that will, so maybe an ad will go to a landing page. The landing page will go to your home page.
Eye opener. Okay,
so landing page is more salesy. So on Lauren's homepage, it's not really that salesy. It's just, you know, it's giving a little bit of information. It's trying to keep people there. It's keeping people engaged, but it is still copywriting because it's still thought out and there's still call to actions and it's still, there's strategy behind it. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's content writing because it's not really just giving information, because, and then a landing page is going to just be sales.
Wow, that's really like so good to know, because I always thought that it was exactly the same. I thought a landing page is a home page, but no. Okay.
I mean, some people might call them the same.
Yeah.
Same thing, and that's probably a bit confusing as well. The same with copywriting and content writing. So people might say, oh yeah, this like that their homepage is a landing page, because technically it is a form of a landing page. It is the one that you're hoping people will land on, but it is not technically a landing page, if that makes sense.
Chantal, sorry, can you just say again the difference between the landing page and the home page? The landing page is more of a sales page and the home page is
a summary. So it's a summary of all your different pages. So on Lauren's website, her homepage has got little sections to where you want to go. So it's basically just to keep someone on there. It's to have like short little concise bits. I mean, people use homepages for all sorts of stuff. And some people have a homepage that is a landing page. They just want to sell straight off the bat, and that's fine, which is probably where the confusion comes in. And some people just have that one homepage and they just link it all together. So they'll just have all their different sections just on one page and it won't link to anywhere. It'll only link to once, tends to be to a contact page.
Thank you. And I missed the very beginning. So can you please, maybe just in like 2 sentences, if that's possible, your definition of content versus copy?
Yeah, so copywriting is sales writing. So sales writing can be on websites, emails, adverts, brochures. That is for someone to take an action. Whereas content writing is to inform and engage and educate people.
Thank you.
but they are fairly interchangeable, but they are separate.
I do have one quick last question before we round up this session. And it's just something that just came to mind. I don't know whether it was something I saw on Lauren's website. How effective is or are testimonials close to the call to action? Because I don't know whether I noticed the phrase or sentence. I just have all my testimonials on one page. I'm like thankful I got testimonials. I put them on one page, but I don't know if I maximize the use of testimonials. I have testimonials I haven't even updated on my website.
Yeah.
So how effective is it to have it close to a call to action button?
So on Lauren's website, it's a lot better than my website because I've obviously spent more time on her website than I have on my own. So on my own website, I have the same as you, Mac, one page, all my testimonials, and that probably needs a bit of work because the thing that you should be doing is using your testimonials in your content on your website. So like I've done with Lauren's here, so she has a testimonial here. So Lauren totally made my business a whole lot better, even getting me more customers. So I'm talking about, it kind of fits into that section. I'm not just putting a random testimonial in there. It's relevant to the section that it's in. So I'll try and find another one. So again, here, so we're talking about the scribbled drawings. So this is on its own because at the beginning, we said about her tagline, about the scribbles, and now halfway down the page, we're reinforcing it with people so that she becomes memorable. Yeah, those are the examples. Oh yeah, here's another one. So again, it's reinforcing it. So just after, if they've now scrolled past contact me, the first thing they'll get is a testimonial. And that testimonial will say that Lauren's amazing. And you're like, oh, actually, maybe I should contact her. And then you go down, you read their services, and then there's a contact me at the end. So it's reinforcing what Lauren wants the whole time. You have to think about what the user's going to be wanting. Like, you can't really predict it exactly, but it's all about what someone who lands on any of these pages is going to be wanting. Most people are, sorry.
Is the button at the bottom where it says my service is taking you to a different web page, or is it actually taking you to learn about the services?
It's taking you to her services. So it's still on the same website, it's just a different tab.
Okay.
So then it takes you to an expanded version of all her services. So on her homepage, there was just a short section for her services, and here she's got everything. So she doesn't, on her homepage, she doesn't need everything on there because people are browsing when they're on her homepage. You know, they're just trying to get a feel for what she's like, for what she does. And if they then think, oh no, actually I do need something, then they can click through and see if she does it. So at that point, then they'll be like, oh, well, I'll click her services. It's not listed here. I wonder if she does it.
What do you think about the idea when you have different buttons, you know, as you're going through your website? Do you always put contact me, or do you think it's a good idea to sort of say, click, you know, learn more about how I can help you, or schedule a call, or, you know, so that each button is different?
I normally try and put different ones, but the important thing is not so much that they're different. The important thing is that it marries up to what you're clicking through to. So if you say, if it's a learn more button, make sure that if they click learn more, they're actually going to learn more, and that you're not going to have then a contact form. You know, it's important that the expectation is matched for what they're clicking through to, because if someone isn't ready to buy and they don't want to speak to you yet, but they want to learn more and they click learn more, then they should be able to learn more in that setting until they click through or opt to contact you, because it's important that it marries up. Like, people do it a lot, they get it wrong, and it's just, people are fine with learning stuff. Like, it's fine. It doesn't all have to be about sales. Like, people want to learn, so just give them those options.
Mm-hmm.
Chantal, on that bit that we've just been. Oh, right, okay. We've got
Oh,
it.
sorry. I'll get
No,
it
I
back.
was going to say that the let's discuss bit underneath the service does click through to the contact page, so it kind of is just enforcing what you've just been saying.
Yeah.
Go back up onto the services.
This is
No, further down. Scroll down. Stop there. Stop.
Oh,
There's-
yeah, here.
That'll go to the contact page. Or it
Yeah.
should do.
It
Liam, I
does.
hope it does. But yeah, that's what it kind of reinforces what you
Yeah.
just said there.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Yeah, so it's a smaller call to action. So it's not as in your face because they're not necessarily wanting to contact Lauren at that point. But if they found what they are after, then there's no harm in putting a call to action there, because, you know, they might have found it and then they're like, oh, amazing, click now, you know, but they are on that page because they're wanting to learn. Therefore, that's why the call to action is smaller.
Excellent. Well, Chantal, I
It's
have
been
to say
so
a
informative.
massive thank you.
Can I just ask?
On behalf of everybody. Sorry, Karina, did you have a question?
Yeah, it's like
We're gonna be the launch. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have another half an hour with her as part of the launch program. Since you're with the launch program, if you can just hold on to that, that'd be great.
Okay. So, but everyone else, I want to say a massive thank you for taking the time to join us. You've been at a masterclass held by the Practice Pods Coaching. It's great to have you. We meet every Tuesday. I've put a link in the chat. If you want to be a part of the Practice Pods Coaching, you're welcome to join us. We meet every Tuesday. The first link, please ignore because I made a mistake. Quickly saw it and did it again. So it's the second link that I put up. Just facebook.com/groups/Practice Pods Coaching. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you for coming out today. Those in the Launch with Impact, please stay behind. But everybody else, thank you. Hopefully look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chantal.
Thanks, Chantal.